Dingo Pictures was somehow more accurate with their adaptation of The Hunchback of Notre Dame than both UAV and Golden films. In their own goofy way, can they do the same for Anastasia? Spoilers, no. Oh, Dingo, Dingo, Dingo. They really did it with this one. I mean, watching Dingo Pictures is always quite the experience, but this one just has you constantly reeling to try and keep up with the nonsense. Some of these Dingo Pictures movies have quite the cover variations. I've mentioned how a lot of them try to look better than the actual Dingo Picture character models, but that's not so much the case for the English DVD for Anastasia. This cruddy picture here isn't even representative of what she looks like in the slightest. They got the dog down though, who is the main character if you believe this tacked-on title screen. Some foreign releases, though, did get the let's pretend this looks better than it actually does artwork covers. But then there were others that tried to make her look a bit like the Bluth version, just with darker hair. This cover was also slightly modified and used for the Midas Interactive PlayStation release. The covers that best show what you're actually gonna get are the German ones, of which there are 3 variants. My favorite has to be, though, the giant dead-eyed Anastasia with a horrible redraw of Anastasia from the cover of the Bluth one, who has no feet and she must run. Why would they double up the Anastasia on the cover? Well, there is a reason in the movie for this, and we'll get to that. Man, I can't eat any of the snow here. It's all yellow. And I know I've talked about Dingo showing garbage area that you shouldn't see before, but man, in a few of these shots, it looks like their craptacular backgrounds are gonna slide right off the table. Well, this horse sure knows what movie it's in.
Vladimir, Grand Duchess. Vladimir, are you absolutely sure that you have packed all the suitcases? No, Grand Duchess. Well, better to be safe than sorry, so my deceased husband said, God rest his soul, n'est-ce pas?
Oh, if she would only go.
What even is anything anymore? But hey, at least they did use the term Grand Duchess. It's never used for Anastasia, but at least it's in there. I'm so really glad to hear the return of that horrible judge voice from Hunchback.
The best thing about the Russian winter is that my mother escapes to Paris.
I'm gonna tally up the laughing shots in this one, because even for Dingo, this was excessive.
What are you laughing about, Anastasia? I am Grand Duchess Olga of Romanov.
Well, there were a couple Grand Duchess Olgas. One was Anastasia's sister. The one I believe this is sort of supposed to be, though, is Grand Duchess Olga Alexandrovna. This would seem to be the person that the grandmother characters in Anastasia stories are always based on, but in reality, she was Anastasia's aunt. The real Olga did meet with Anna Anderson to see if she was Anastasia, which no doubt inspired a lot of the fictional Anastasia stories to have that reunion with the grandmother part, but the outcome in reality was quite different, as she was fairly unconvinced that this was her niece.
When adults are talking, children have to keep quiet. Compris? Yes, Granny.
Whoa, the cross-eyed eye roll. Only the real blonde Anastasia could pull that one off. And yeah, I don't know why they went with this bright blonde when the real Anastasia didn't have that hair, clearly. My best guess, though, is they did it so she wouldn't look completely the same as their Esmeralda character when she grew up. Gotta love those lazy Dingo redraw techniques.
This is a law for you as well, Muppety.
Well, at least that horse is enjoying itself now.
My son, don't you want to come to Paris with me?
Now you know I can't leave Moscow. The people are planning a revolution to drive me away. Me, the Tsar of Russia.
As you know, Mother, that is me, the Tsar. I just felt like telling you things that you knew already.
Imagine that. The people want to rule themselves?
What the?
I guess that's what it sounds like when a German person tries to pull off a Russian accent. Dingo, you have enough trouble saying words that make any sort of sense. You shouldn't be attempting accents.
Ha! The people are stupid.
So stupid.
You need an advisor whom you can rely on. But Rasputin, I believe, has a face of a traitor.
I love being called a traitor because I hate subtlety. Just look at my goblin face.
Rasputin has been in my service for many years, and he was always faithful to me.
I love laughing at things that aren't funny. Before annoying Olga leaves and waves goodbye to the audience, she gives Anastasia a pendant so that they'll have a plot item to identify her with later. If only the real Anastasia had an immediate proof pendant, would have saved some time and some really thought out adaptations of her story. Wow, Olga's head is like the size of half of the driver's body. Conceited much? Oh yes, it's time for us to meet the leaders of the People's Will Revolution. The Romanovs' butler, some fat jackass, and the stupid French chef from Pocahontas. But I suppose we should allow Dingo a certain amount of lazy license on the story.
The Tsar lives like a god, and the people in the country are starving.
Most of the revolutionaries are so hungry.
And in the palace, tons of food is thrown away. Am I right, cook?
Okay, you very lazily reused your chef character, and even still nonsensically had him flipping a pancake at this meeting, but at the very least, you could have taken the 2 seconds to give him a name! Cookie Cookerson fought for the hammer and sickle symbol to instead be the frying pan and sickle symbol, but sadly, Sitting Man just wouldn't budge.
How do you dare to turn up here? Hadn't you promised that the Tsar would go with his mother to Paris and we'd prepare the revolution in peace?
So their plan was to what? Just wait for the Tsar to leave Russia, then lock him out and say the country's ours now?
Tonight, you will be rid of the Tsar, yes.
Nailed my line for sure, yes.
Can anyone really take bouncy nose Rasputin seriously? Well, that changes my mind. Can't wait for Rasputin to tie Anastasia to the railroad tracks. Yes, you are really seeing this. Rasputin is taking out the Tsar's palace with a cartoon bomb. And double your pleasure, double your dumb! So, yeah, a bunch of people died there, but at least we can always trust Dingo to handle that subject well.
It belongs on a great big fire!
You might be thinking the Tsar died here as well, as he never shows up again, but you would be wrong. He was just thrown by the explosion Resident Evil movie style to France. And after falling in a little time portal, became the Abe and adopted Quasimodo. Sorry, I'm just being silly. As we all know from history, Tsar Nicholas II turned into a tuba.
I can't help thinking. I think it looks like arsony.
Whoa, someone make the Notre Dame bomb a detective right away!
I see why they were reusing characters though, as Giant Feet Comrade Mustache and Miss Broken Arms Short Legs showed how invested they were in drawing anyone new for this.
Nobody has survived. They must all be dead.
Nobody has survived. They all must be dead. Wow, forget Detective Bum. We've got a true mastermind on the case.
Hey, there's dead people on the side of the road. Let's go see if there's any survivors.
Oh shit, there was a dead survivor! Way to blow, Ubermind!
The child is full of soot. She must have been in the palace. She is probably the daughter of a servant.
Yeah, just assume that, Mr. Woman Voice Stash.
The devil should get me. Anastasia is still alive. Wait, I will change that immediately.
I love Big Belly Coherent.
I don't know anything.
That's how I feel at this point, too.
She doesn't know who she is. That is good.
Yes, good. Stealing plot points from the more popular Anastasia adaptation. Very good.
She doesn't know who she is. Is that possible?
Impossible.
This is gonna be one of the most asinine displaced Anastasia tales. They found her at the palace! Did none of these bozos know what any of the royal family looked like? And they're all just so blasé about the palace being blown up, you'd think that this happens all the time! Then again, maybe it does in Dingo World. I have trouble even remembering reality a few minutes into one of these. So, Miss Mustache decides he'll take Anastasia home with him because why bother checking with anyone about anything?
The Tsar is dead.
Of course, it might take a while for anyone to actually notice in this universe.
We had agreed that I make sure that the Tsar disappears, whereas you make sure that the people will elect me as their president.
These four doofuses can't even find a place to hold their meetings now that the palace got completely wrecked from one roly-poly bomb. Do you seriously expect us to believe that they've overtaken the country and replaced the governing structure? Ooh, there she is, the most important character, and she's smelling the crap on Anna's boots. Good stuff.
What's her name? Sasha. Everybody's got a name, but I don't have one.
Well, that's not true.
You still cannot remember anything.
I hate when I can't remember my anything.
You have probably lost your memory from the explosion last night.
Alright, that's her excuse. What's yours?
Glad we got another detective on this case, though.
They'll figure out all the blatantly obvious things. Except, of course, that she's Anastasia. I expected better advice from such an important character. Why do the dog noises sound like they're 20 feet away from the mic compared to the rest of the dialogue? I can't believe Dingo would mess up audio.
Sasha wants you to stay with us.
It seems really ill-advised, but I always go with what my dog says.
Could my name be Asha?
Yeah, sure, I guess that's sort of close to your real name. Oops, I mean, who are you? Oh, Sasha changed her mind. It'd be stupid to run that way.
6 years later.
Had to say it because changing the text is too much work.
Rasputin interrupting bear!
Rasputin also has one of those lazy fat-ass rats as a sidekick now. Why? Well, because, you know, he had that bat in the Bluth one. That's why.
You haven't been elected. This mob has not elected me again.
Ah, shoot, I knew I meant to vote for Rasputin. I mean, who wouldn't trust that troll face?
Democracy isn't worth anything. Let's have a revolution.
That must have already happened if you'd gotten rid of the Tsar, you stupid rat!
Revolution. We had one just a couple of years ago.
Then you start a new revolution.
Okay, Russia really did have 2 revolutions, so Dingo got that right. Rasputin didn't have anything to do with either of them, though. Mostly due to being dead before they happened, and I really don't know why these things keep putting Rasputin as one of the leaders of the revolution. Oh yeah, and that rat is the only talking animal in this one, but I guess Rasputin isn't friends with his street gang anymore, so he needed someone to bounce ideas off of.
Oh, don't talk such rubbish.
Rubbish. Dingo just loves rubbish, and it shows.
The old babushka must hear me.
And you'll need all the hair you can get.
Babushka!
So Rasputin is either yelling for a headscarf or a grandmother to help him? Nah, of course this babushka is some stupid-looking witch with a root growing out of her head.
Comrade Rasputin, so you blew up the palace for nothing 6 years ago.
You told me with the Tsar and his family when they're dead I come to bar.
Wait, is Rasputin an elf or a Vulcan? That would explain a lot.
What? No, it wouldn't.
Watch out, babushka. I think your head is trying to escape your body.
Anastasia is alive. Kill her.
Yeah, that'll change the votes.
How can I find the girl after all this time? She could be anywhere now.
That's your problem, my dear.
What the hell is any of this?
Lost one.
Well, I hope you like that witch being added to the plot, cause she never shows up again! At least she told Rasputin to do that thing he was already trying to do. Oh wait, that was useless. At least she told Rasputin that Anastasia was still alive. Oh wait, no, he knew that too. Never mind. All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces.
The old Grand Duchess in Paris still believes her granddaughter's alive. She must be pretty mad.
Of course, I saw a girl who looked exactly like her survive the explosion, but that's far too obvious to occur to me.
She has even offered a reward of 10,000 rubles for the one who brings back Anastasia.
10,000 rubles? I would really like to know how many false granddaughters will be pinned on her.
Oh, why? Why is the Bluth Anastasia here? And why is she a man?
Seriously, this is just a straight-up dingoized version of the Bluth Anastasia, but they made her a man, despite not really trying in the slightest to actually make her look like one. He's still got really feminine-looking features on the face, but oddly without black lines for the nose or anything like most of the other dingo characters. Also, he's apparently wearing mummy wrapping under his coat.
I just really don't get why Dingo would copy the Bluth Anastasia design, then make her a different character, especially a male one.
There he is, the thief. Stop him. Can you stop him, Dom?
What the damn hell is that? Glad dingo creatures can get even worse if they're drawn into the background. Whoa, nice run cycle.
Oh, sorry, I had amnesia for a second. I forgot what running actually looked like.
Too crappy of a run cycle, Anastasia the man.
I have to disappear from Moscow, at least until this thing is dead and buried.
That voice just seems so wrong coming out of this character. Every time it happens, you're just like, ugh. But oh well, sure was nice of Dingo, Bambi, and Thumper to cameo. Then again, it was their willingness to meet with the people like this that led Bambi Thumper to beating Rasputin and Ratsputin in the elections.
We don't want to buy anything.
I don't want to sell anything, I just want to take shelter here.
What is your name?
Boris Klavaki.
Well, Borislavaki, then come in.
Since you have a name, you can stay as long as you like.
Thanks for the contribution, Doug.
So, Anastasia is going to be Anastasia's love interest?
That's kind of self-cessed, isn't it? So if they screw, is that like masturbation?
Can't you tie up this monster?
Have you heard, Sasha? He is really afraid of you.
Male Anastasia notices female Anastasia's pendant drop with his broken eyes and figures, yoink!
I can't believe it. The pendant is worth at least 100, perhaps even 200 rubles.
I thought I messed up the line, but I totally saved it.
If I sold this, I could pay all my debts. Ah, what a good idea.
Boris, I must have lost my pendant somewhere around here. Have you seen it?
Oh, you mean this thing I'm looking at? No, I haven't.
Okay.
What's the matter, Sasha?
Too bad Sasha can't talk like that brilliant rat. You'll never beat Rasputin in the polls running with her as your partner, Anazone.
Now I have to go.
What about breakfast?
Breakfast is ruined. There's a store that is just vodka. That is so stupid. I love it.
Look what I've got here.
Where'd you get that from?
I was given it by an old man because, well, I chopped wood for him. I chopped wood for him.
You chopping wood? I hope that is true.
They hope that is true? Why? They just really want to imagine male Stasia chopping wood?
Why would I lie to you? You've known me for ages.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter. Tell me how many rubles will you give me for that?
Boris Stasia, of course, sees in the paper that the plot pendant is his female counterparts, because why wouldn't that pendant be in the paper?
How can you be so stupid?
Come and see.
We could have easily earned the money ourselves.
Come on, go fetch Rasputin.
What was any of that?
Asha,
You dare come back here? You thief, you robber.
Did the dog talk off screen? How does she suddenly know this?
I haven't stolen your pendant, but when I was at my home, I noticed that it had fallen into my boot.
What are you saying? Sasha, have you heard my pendant has fallen into his boot?
At least the dog is amused by this never-ending stupidity.
Have you been pricked by your conscience, you old vagabond?
I don't know if old vagabond are quite the right words to describe this Anastasia. And that's not a negative comment about trans people. There's a difference between Dingo's mess of a character here and someone who actually changed their gender. Come on!
Is Asha not your real daughter?
Yeah, she is now, but as a matter of fact.
It isn't.
But it looks like my pendant.
You are Anastasia.
Rubbish. Everybody knows that the whole family of the Tsar was killed at that time.
Asha! Asha!
What's wrong, dear father?
I need you to wipe my butt. In classic Dingo fashion, these morons take forever discussing the obvious and that they'll go to Paris to see Anastasia's grandmother. Also, Boris Stasia seems to be turning into a raccoon. There can be only one.
Away from home alone.
Rasputin finds out about Anastasia's little trip from the bums outside the vodka store, but the most important part of this scene is that learning that Rasputin can do a bit of flying and teleporting. Speaking of teleporting, the horse-drawn carriage makes it past the snow line and suddenly it's summer.
But you know, getting from Moscow to Paris is just a quick little jaunt through Russia, Belarus, Poland, Germany, and France. Real easy for a horse-drawn carriage trip.
Faster!
That's pretty much my thoughts on the movie at this point, especially the
But of course we can't wrap this thing up without the important things like pigeons, and then Anastasia and company stopping to eat and discussing how they will in fact consume the food with their mouths beforehand. Oh, and don't forget Rasputin's horse gets tired and then Wushel shows up. I hate Wushel. Can't believe this lazy horse is tired after running through only several countries.
Why?
You leave Kirk alone, you bloody mongrel!
How dare you swear at my dog like that? Sasha is not a bloody mongrel.
Yeah, bloody mongrel's probably some of the harshest words we've ever heard in one of these Dingo pictures.
What the hell is going on here? You'll get the damn good beating.
Get away, you country bumpkin!
I don't want to be offended by him like that.
You don't want to be offended. Stay off the tumbler.
That was Anastasia. Oh, am I an idiot?
You sure are.
Do you smell that? It's delicious. 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 Perhaps this Boris is not such a bad guy. After all, What do you think?
I think all of this food has been perfectly prepared. For you. Just kidding, it still needs a dash of wushu.
But it was a tame rat and obviously belonged to the man. Sasha couldn't really know that.
That can only have been Rasputin.
Oh, it's not Rasputin anymore, it's Rasputin.
Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen. There was a cat who really was gone.
What is he doing here looking for you?
Rasputin.
I said he's named Rasputin, you old fart. How dare you interrupt my For You?
It has been told that this is Rasputin who set fire to the Tsar's palace.
Ha ha ha. Stupid surprise dog.
Apparently everyone just knows that Rasputin Putin killed the Tsar, but doesn't really care. I suppose that might make some sense if the revolution was going on, but surprise, surprise, Dingo isn't very clear about this.
What is told beyond that is that he wants to kill the Tsar's daughter.
I don't want to be killed by Rasputin. Do something about it, Boris.
I don't know what I'm saying.
From now on, we will pursue Rasputin.
What?
We just hide ourselves somewhere and wait until Rasputin has passed us.
What?
Then we can eat our borscht at last and drive behind him peacefully.
What?
Unfortunately for old Rasputin, he was no match for Master Boris's plan of hide in the bushes. He blows past them cause they're invisible and arrives at the France building first. Yeah, the entire country is just inside that house.
Who are you running from?
Run away? That's nonsense. Out of the way, you stupid fool.
What did you say? You're arrested.
Well said.
Unfortunately, France's border house arrest is just standing with you outside and leaving you armed and hoping you just don't do anything. Surprisingly, that doesn't work out, so they have to hold a rifle to the source of all of his power.
We'll take him away. He won't molest you again so quickly.
Molest? Dingo, you incompetent cretins!
Excuse me, mademoiselle.
Shut up!
Never get tired of that, though.
Oh, nice. I guess they went over to watercolor Notre Dame. Glad it hasn't changed at all in 400 years. Wow, Dingo. I know I normally give you shit for using your character models, but I know you have other cat ones to use, and clearly no one actually wanted to draw a new one for this pointless shot.
So many streets. How can we find the Grand Duchess here?
Look in a mirror, you idiot.
I'm going to that shop. In the shop, they'll certainly know where the Grand Duchess is.
Oh, that's stupid. So of course it works.
Oh, Olga just lives over on Nice Cats Boulevard. Wabu's girlfriend even meets them there. Then we do the Anastasia proving herself to the granny scene. But of course in this one it's like, I don't know you at all.
Who's a pendant?
Oh, Anastasia, it's you! 20 damn dingo laughs.
Unfortunately, I made a mistake by not touching this girl.
That's no good.
Only if she's dead can I come to power.
I was thinking of voting Rasputin next election, but only if he blows up a girl with a bomb.
To hell with all of you.
Stop, Sasha! Stop, Sasha! This is not a ball. This is a bomb.
Get off, you stupid beast. Stop. What are you doing there? Help! Help!
Yeah, there was a cat who really was gone. Wow.
Oh, that was close.
So one of Rasputin's cartoon bombs blew up the entire Winter Palace, or Alexander Palace, or whatever the shit it was supposed to be here, but this time it was just a localized blast that only took out Rasputin's corner of the room?
I see no issues with that. Let's move on. Well, dumbass Dingo Rasputin was a lot easier to take out than the actual guy. And I guess I can give Dingo credit for not just completely forgetting about his plot line.
Why were we lucky?
You heartless man, how can you say that? Sasha is dead.
Is she? Oh no, she just got soot on her. Rasputin really brought the weenie bomb this time. Then they all set off for America with pirates, 'cause why not? And Anastasia declares her memory restored. What a solid story this was. I mean, they even tell us it was fine at the end. The Anastasia story is a really weird one to ever have become multiple kiddie cartoons like this. It's about a bloody revolution that doesn't have a happy ending, except when you completely change everything about it.
But I think we can all agree that the Dingo Pictures adaptation was Alright, I'm off to the France building at the Russia-France border, hoping to meet an alternate design for myself gender swapped there. Also, I might get arrested, so I should probably pack a sword. I've also got to have the tunes, because this horse-drawn carriage trip across the ocean is going to take, at least a couple hours.
Doesn't seem too friendly. These monsters seem so fake. My nerves, they're gonna break. Please don't let me down. You need to be around to grab that running one up and blast that scene a new one.
Turns out being blown up didn't help Rasputin in the polls at all. He lost to a raccoon now.
I'm the Tsar now, or president, or whatever we're doing.